This is going to be a short lesson on evaluating expressions or problems using the order of operations. Okay. The order of operations are listed right here, and a lot of times we use please excuse my dear Aunt Sally as a way to remember them. The P stands for parentheses, which we will not work with today. E stands for exponents, which we also won't work with today. And then the M and D stand for multiplication and division. And then the A and S stand for adding and subtracting. The reason why these multiplication, division, and these adding, subtracting are on the same line is because you do whatever comes first in your number sentence. So for instance, in our number sentence, we have multiplication that comes first. So you would do multiplication before you did division. However, if division happened to come first, which it doesn't here, but if it did, you would do division and then multiplication. So that's why they're on the same level. You do whatever one comes first. So let's go ahead and try this one. So what a lot of kids would do is they would start off and they go 3 plus 5. But if you look at your order of operations, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, you can't do 3 plus 5 first because adding goes last. Okay? So you want to go ahead and do any parentheses first. Well, you don't have any, so you can't do any parentheses. Next, you want to do any exponents. You don't have any exponents. Exponents are those little numbers that are written on top of numbers. So you can't do any exponents. However, next is multiplication and division, and you have both multiplication and division. So remember, when you have multiplication and division in one problem, since they're written on the same line in our order of operations, you do whatever comes first. And in this case, we have multiplication that comes first. So I'm going to go 5 times 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. So what I like to do is I write a little caret down, and 5 times 2 equals 10. And then I X off the two numbers that I just did operation between. And then what you need to do is bring everything else down. So 3, and then your plus sign, plus 10, and then divided by 2. Okay? So now you're not going to be done until you have one number. So now again, you need to go through your order of operations and do the proper operation next. I don't have any parentheses. I don't have any exponents. I do not have any multiplication left because I did my multiplication. But I do have division. So I got to do my division next. Okay? 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay? So now I did 10 divided by 2, so I want to X those off. Okay? But you do have these left, so you want to write 3 plus. Okay? And now you're left with 3 plus 5, and since the only operation you have left is plus, you of course have to do that, and 3 plus 5 equals 8. So I'll write 8 in here, and 8 is my final answer. When you don't have any variables in your problem, like you don't have here, you will end up just with one number for an answer. But as we go in this unit, we will end up with some variables, and then when we simplify, you will end up with maybe 8 plus 2x or something like that, because you won't be able to combine them. Okay. At this time, I'd like you to pause the video, and I want you to go ahead and try this problem on your own. And when you're all done, I want you to come back and watch me do it and see if you did it correctly and if you went through the steps correctly. So pause at this time and start back up when you're done. So I'm going to go ahead here and go through my order of operations again. So I want to write those out. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And again, that stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, adding, subtracting. So I'm going to go ahead and go through those in my problem. So again, we start up here. Parentheses, I don't have any parentheses, so I can't do that. Exponents, I don't have any exponents, so I can't do that. Next, I want to do any multiplication or division, whatever comes first. And I see I have 30 divided by 5 here. I have division. So I have to do that first. A lot of people will try to do this 5 times 2 first because they see multiplication comes first here. But remember, we write multiplication and division on the same level, and you do whatever one comes first. So 30 divided by 5 we have to do first. So I'm going to write a caret, and 30 divided by 5. Let's see, 5 can go into 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 6 times. And since I did 30 divided by 5, I'm going to X those off. And you just want to bring everything else down, just as it is. So 5 minus 6 times 2. Okay? And now I rerun through my steps. And you're going to do this until you get down to one number. So I don't have any parentheses. I don't have any exponents. I do still have some multiplication and division. I have multiplication right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next. 6 times 2 is 12. So I'm going to write 12 down here. I did 6 times 2, so I cross it off. And I'm left with 5 minus. So now I'm just left with 5 minus 12. And of course, you don't really have to run through your steps at this point because you only have one operation left, so that's the only thing you can do. So 5 minus 12, well, I notice this number is smaller than this number, so I'm going to want to do plus the opposite right here. Plus the opposite. So what that does is it makes my signs different. I have a negative here and a positive here, so I'm going to subtract. 12 minus 5 is 7. Okay, and then I have more negatives than I have positives, so my answer is going to be negative. Negative 7 is your final answer.